as stated earlier, we're working on Nightlight from the YouTube personalities, Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link. Just to farther explain again, this is no issue with them. This is definitely something completely out of their hands. I've watched a good bit of their content. They are great creators. And these things happen. It's not the most expensive item in the world, but it is a collectible, and it belongs to a very long-time fan of theirs. So I'd just like to help get this back up and running. You know, like I said, try and cut back on electronic waste, no matter how small. So this should be a very easy fix. I did actually spend some time looking at it before I brought it back over to my place. To see what the issue was. I was hoping it would be something very simple I could fix without any real tools, but I'm not sure if you can see in there. We got cold solder joints. See that wiggle? That shouldn't be happening. So this is a fault from manufacturing. Given how small and minimalistic this is, I can't imagine there being too much they could have done to try to prevent this. They possibly could have just went with a different system for wiring it up. But, yeah, I mean, this should be a quick and simple fix, so let's just hop to it. It looks like once you get inside, you need a couple of tri-wing screws. You got 2 tri-wings. And inside, you have 3 Phillips heads. And on the inside, you have 2 tri-wing. They come out simple enough. Put those down here. There may be a few little things I do here to try and help make minor improvements, I guess. This little light sensor down here, that doesn't seem to be very well secured. It looks like that could go at just about any minute. It's a through-hole component. This is almost as close as you can get to a basic breadboard. I will put a little bit of extra effort into making sure it has some longevity. So I'm going to do my best to try and get this placed back as far in as I can. I'm probably going to use a little bit of hot glue to cover up those areas too, to give it a little bit more security. I'm definitely going to add some solder into those points there. Wow, this was very minimally done. I actually think I'm just going to add a little bit of solder to almost every component. This is definitely not the best work I've ever seen. Again, I know somebody's not sitting in a factory doing this stuff piece by piece. I know the guys over at Good Mythical Morning aren't assembling these themselves. So this is nothing against them. But this is pretty poor work right here. This is not the best quality product I've seen. It's actually probably one of the worst I've seen in a while. I'm going to get a little bit of flux on the board. That beep was just my soldering iron telling me that it is at temperature. The most important part for me to get some flux onto is going to be these neutral and live legs, as they first off need a reflow, and then we're going to have to actually get in there and add some new solder. Alright, well, it's looking like I'm going to have to add some more solder just to help getting that to flow. Raise my temperature a tiny bit. And I'll tell you what, I'll try and get zoomed in here so you guys can get a bit of a better view of what's going on the board. There we go. You should be able to see what's going on now. We're just going to add a little bit of solder to our tip. Just may need to get some better flux out for this. Whatever solder they used wasn't too great. Alright, and we're back. Sorry, unfortunately it would seem that I came to this fight a little bit unprepared. So, we're going to actually get some decent flux on here now. That should help the solder flow and make a better connection. Sorry there, welcome back. One of the issues I'm having of memory and storage at this moment, just kind of peaked out of memory right there. Luckily, I do have a camera on the way with proper memory cards. So, yeah, the channel is coming up slowly but surely. Baby steps. Everything one step at a time. Just waiting for that to go solid. A little bit bowed. In all honesty, I probably should have cleaned up all the old solder, because whatever they used, even the solder itself, does not seem good. It is usually recommended not to mix solders. I thought I'd be able to get away with it, but this is not looking good at all. Well, at least we got our plug straight. Alright, I guess let's just go ahead and fill up some of these other through-hole components, give them a little bit of solder, give them a little bit more longevity. Every little bit helps, especially in the condition of this board. That one actually looks fine. The one piece they actually did that looked okay. I should just be able to tin up my tip on this one and just go from that. It should not take much to fill these. Definitely a new level of challenge for me working with all this stuff in my way, the camera and such, but this does seem to be looking a bit better already. I think I could use some more solder up here. Let me hit that spot real quick, then we'll clean the board off and see how we're looking. Go. That via just really doesn't seem to want to be flooded. None of them really did. It's just the way this board is designed. Well, let's get it cleaned up and see how it looks from there. Let's just get it all cleaned up. Of course, I'm using the 99.9% isopropyl alcohol again. Good old IPA. Again, not the type you drink. Please, please do not ever think when I'm saying IPA, I mean Golden Monkey or any other good craft brewer's best brew. We don't need a whole nother Tide Pod pandemic going on here. Yeah. Alright, those seem to be good. I'm going to apply a little hot glue to the back of them. Try and give them some kind of extra stability. For that, I'm just going to use my hot air station and a hot glue stick. I find this actually works a bit better than waiting for a hot glue gun to heat up. And also, the hotter you can get the hot glue to, the stronger the bond it'll make, the harder it'll solidify as. And trust me, this gets a hell of a lot hotter than just your basic glue gun. I honestly usually frown upon the method of using hot glue when you're doing electronic fixes. But I mean, if something's already as bad as this is, why not? It's only an improvement at this point. It's really only an improvement at this point. Alright. So we'll give that a second to cool down, and we'll get it put back together. I've got a lot of things going on in the works. I want to follow up the Doom video with Perfect Dark and 007 GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. And after that, in my opinion, the king of all kings for first-person shooters on the home system would be going forward with Halo. So it's kind of like a little bit of a three-part deal that I've kind of wanted to do. Right now, in the beginnings of my YouTubing, it's almost kind of like a bucket list for me of just things that I wish I got the chance to say my part on. Or I just think some people left some things unfinished or unsaid. 100%, I would say don't be surprised if I get any revisits on a video, because I'm still learning, and I've got a lot to learn. So as my equipment gets better, as my talent and skills at this get better, I'm hoping to keep on retrying and redoing and getting better. So eventually I should be like releasing like definitive editions or whatever, I guess, for lack of better words. And everything we do is a craft. It's all just practice, trial and error. And I'm getting there. I've got the equipment on the way. I know some of the mistakes I've been making. I know this video isn't exactly the best. But it's work in progress. We just keep on moving forward. Hopefully I'll start scripting stuff for my actual speaking pieces. So that'll help with the fluidity of some of the bigger episodes that aren't repair related going forward. And yeah, I might do some bullet points for scripting for repair videos. Again, hopefully a lot of the stuff I do with repairs, I'll be talking a little bit more of the object, or possibly just palling around, talking about whatever. I mean, I got a couple cool little facts about the Atari 2600, and it's also become something I've very enjoyed playing lately, and that honestly kind of surprised me. It's not something that was big in my childhood. That was a tiny bit before me. But yeah, I think I've rambled on enough. So thanks for joining me, comrades. I hope you come by again next time. Like, subscribe. You know what to do. I love y'all. Thanks for having me.